Hey, hey. No. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a minute, but we are back. Can you hear me? That music was loud. That music was loud.
Roger's in the waiting room.
There we go. Welcome, 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 sir. Good to have you back in the building. So look, we in the transition period. So we telling people to click this link. Let's see if we live in the group. I see a couple of people have already jumped on on the YouTube platform. Next time we'll be streaming back live directly into the group. We didn't work out the kinks. Tonight we live on YouTube. So shout out to everyone who's understanding the assignment and jumping in on YouTube with us. It's another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays, ladies and gentlemen, where we do our very best to try to motivate you, encourage you, inspire you, lift you up, give you some practical everyday nuggets that you can use for this business and your life, I believe. What's going on, fellas? We back? I'm talking to myself. Can y'all hear me? What's happening? What's happening?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I said we back, fellas. What's up? What's happening? Mr. Lillard with the technical difficulties, sir. We cannot hear you. You got to hit the mute button.
Man, he always got a technical issue. I think he gonna need to retire that new laptop he just got.
Yeah. He got that junk down from the swap meet. You can't be getting from the swap meet. You are a director.
He said the swap meet.
Yeah, he got his laptop from the swap meet. That's why we can't hear him. Now, I'm just messing with you, sir. What's going on? Can you hear us? Well, while he's still getting those technical difficulties together, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. Lillard, he's the one supposed to be getting ready to do the announcements. You know, what's going on? Hit the mute button at the bottom right-hand corner somewhere. Well, we have two jackets in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself. My name is Eric Clifton. If you haven't already seen us before, one of the directors with this amazing opportunity. And we have to my left or your right, the gentleman, the man with the plan, the man whose microphone works on this evening. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Y'all know me. Y'all know who I am. I'm Daryl Jenkins. Daryl Two Jackets Jenkins, that is known as the Travel Oracle for show. 3-star director here with Planet Marketing Master Ambassador with IntelliTravel, the man with the plan, indeed.
The man with the plan, indeed. Go ahead and Mr. Lillard's still looking like he's trying to unmute himself. Go ahead and drop some of the announcements that we have going on around the planet and attached to our immediate team, the Platinum Network.
Absolutely. 8:30 p.m. tonight, guys. We have our standing private business reception. Make sure you get all of your guests on and also jump on for support as well. Again, that's every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Platinum Wednesdays with an S.com takes you straight to the Zoom platform. May 11th, Baltimore, Maryland, Super Saturday event, guys. Make sure you are in the building. Come dressed, suited, and booted so you can hear from not one but two of Planet Marketing's $1 million income earners and a host of 6-figure ring wearers. Make sure you're in the building. Platinum strong for sure. Let's represent. Let's see. Convention. You guys know we are just around the corner. Qualification ends in July, and we'll be taking over the world's largest Marriott in Orlando, Florida. Guys, make sure you are in the building. You definitely want to get poured into from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Tim Grover, the trainer to some of the NBA greats, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, those cats, you know, those who you follow, you have a great deep affinity for, right? Make sure you're in the building and hear how he poured into them so he can pour into you and ignite your business as well. Also, don't forget, IntelliTravel's annual agencies conference. We have taken over an entire cruise ship, the Norwegian Joy, February 2025. Emails are already in your inbox and they are hot and in rotation. Make sure you grab your cabin. Guys, you get to select your cabin, your deck, All of that straight from the registration platform. And Teletravel did this big one with this one. Make sure you grab your spot, register, and I hope to see you all in February. Back to you, E.
I love it. I love it. Look, what? See, we're gonna also announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know we be on Joke Time, and we do want to educate you and inspire you and motivate you. But we encourage you to stack your cheese within this opportunity so you can get quality laptop. I'm gonna keep teasing him about his laptop because listen, I used to have a bunch of technical difficulties, and Mr. Lillard would tease me about my technical difficulties, and we are one happy, loving family. So we're gonna mess with him while he's having some issues with that computer. But y'all send out a prayer for him, and we might have to put a GoFundMe together. But moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of the topics that we were going to touch on today, as interestingly enough, they was Mr. Lillard's ideas, and he isn't even right on here to start talking about them. One of the things that he wanted to pour into you guys on this evening, and you probably have heard some people talking about it before. We're just going to remind you a little bit more, give you some extra input on this season. 'Tis the season that we're in right now. We title it event season. There are all kinds of events going on. You've heard us talk about it before, right? So obviously this isn't something new, but it is something that is very important to the life sustaining culture in the business that you actually want. You want your business to grow long and be successful. You want to know about these events, how to use them, how to leverage those events. That's the word I wanted to use. You want to know how to leverage these events, why you should be in these events, so on and so forth. So that's one of the topics that we're going to be jumping on, or the first topic that we're going to jump on. Mr. Lillard, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you. Listen, in the chat, they was firing you up about your my first Sony laptop. They was getting on you.
Hey, do you understand that it just moved? I'm right here, everybody. First and foremost, welcome to What's the Word Wednesday, everybody. I'm back. I've gone for about a month now. I actually relocated. So I was having I did okay last week, you know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, I'm having some technical difficulties tonight. I'm working on those difficulties as we speak. But, we make it do what it do. And I'm back. And so, yeah, sir, I'm in the building.
Absolutely. So I was just telling the people that's watching and the people who are going to be watching this recorded because they didn't know where the YouTube link was in the group, right? So we appreciate you when you watch this recorded. Tell the people, Mr. Lillard, your take on this season that we're in, event season. I was just talking about the importance of it to a degree, but I know you want to elaborate on, listen, it's events season. This means get butts in seats, especially your butt in a seat near you. Go ahead and talk about event season, sir.
Well, it's essential to really get people in front of the information. And one of the best ways to do it is get them out to events, whether that be a travel party at your home. Mr. Scott did a wonderful training on how to have a travel party right in this Group Platinum Network. As well, actually, it was a Sunday night on a game plan Zoom. Did that a few weeks ago. Also, of course, we got Super Saturdays. If there's a Super Saturday in your market, you definitely want to attend that Super Saturday. Get people out to the information. I mean, we have a very strong culture that you can actually get people to come out and sit down and see. Not to mention, it's warm outside. This is the best time of year to get people out of the house. Guess what they're doing? They're already out of the house. So on a Super Saturday, get them out of the house. We have a Thursday night here. Get your prospects into that event so they can meet the persons or the people who's having success in person, so they can feel the culture and be drawn into the culture as well. But this is the best time of the year to get out. You can have an event where you and some other your teammates go out to a mall, do some belly to belly prospecting. That could be an event. Getting out to the malls, passing out business cards, meeting people. But this is the time of year because when it gets cold, people are what? In the house. So this is the time to get people out and about to our company's event.
Absolutely. What you think too, Jackson?
I think I agree with Roger. I think weather plays a critical part in whether people show up, right? People are outside, the weather is nicer. Nobody wants to be in the frigid cold or traveling through the snow or inclement weather. So I think as the weather change, it's an opportunity to get people to get from behind the computer and into a space where they get a chance to see some faces, some people that look just like them, right? Some of our, very own people, maybe some people they may go to church with. It might be a surprise to some of them. I know some of our business partners. Sir, could you mute yourself, sir? All the rustling of your cell phone. First, we couldn't hear you, but I think that it's important for people to get their folks out to these events because they get a chance to see people that they see behind the screen, get the touch, it's the tangible things. They get a chance to talk to them, shake their hand, take a picture. I used to get people when they come to the meeting. I used to ask them, "Have you ever met a real life millionaire before?" And have them take a picture with Shedrick White, right? Because he was in the space. So now they get to brag about meeting an African-American millionaire that's a male that they would have never seen it anywhere else.
Absolutely, absolutely. And listen, interestingly, you just said it that way. Let me play this video I played for y'all a while back. Some of y'all, we might have some new people watching live or some new people watching the replay. It was at an event, or it's at events, big and small, where you get to hear the testimonies and the success stories of other people who look like you, same background. And so you looking at them like, hey man, if that person can do it, I can do it too. And so I don't know if you guys remember.
For a household of 5. A lot of people might say, I can make that work. No, you can't. My rent was $1,200. One of my cars was $500. If you add that up, that's $1,700. Deduct that from $2,200, that is broke. So I decided to do something different. I decided to go back to school, and everybody's like, yay, Natalie's going to get her master's. No, Natalie's going to get that financial aid check to pay for her bills. And that's what I did for a while, you guys. My very first meeting, raise your hand again, guys. My very first meeting, I was riding dirty. Y'all know what riding dirty is in Virginia? My tags were expired. I couldn't afford to get my car fixed, so for a whole year, my tags were expired. I applied for food stamps. They denied me. They said that I gross too much. But that is no longer my story, you guys. Because of this business, I was able to step out on faith. I put feet to my faith, right? And I was able to grow an organization of over 18,000 around the world. I was able to, retire at the age of 33. Yes. Not only that, I was able to help my son retire at the age of 21. I was able to build a 6-figure income for my husband and retire him in his late 20s. Don't ask me, don't do the math. Bought my dream house, which is no longer my dream. I also bought another house in Cabo. I bought my dream car, my Bentley. I just did something else. Y'all will find out about it next week. But these are all material things, you guys. When I say now that we have all made our way up the elevator, all we're doing is sending it back down, and we're bringing everybody else up with us. So thank y'all so much for coming out today.
It's at events where you hear stories like that. That young lady right there is now a millionaire earner thanks to this opportunity.
I'm ready to sign up again.
You ready to sign up again? I mean, just think about it. What's interesting, when I was recording that, I should have panned around and caught the whole audience. It was standing room only in this particular event. Standing room only. It was about 95% women. The other 5% men, but they were all in there hungry. It was a Sunday afternoon doing a playoff game. Sunday afternoon in Virginia doing a football playoff game, standing room only, several hundred people. And the people who got to sit here and find out about a young lady whose background is similar to a lot of people. And this opportunity, $200 and $60 a month changed her life. We all have access to the exact same type of stuff. Mr. Lillard, you just said a second ago that story made you want to think about signing up again. Facts tell and stories sell. You've been around for a minute. Give the folks one of your best network marketing stories that you may have heard from attending an event.
Wow, there's so many of them. let's see here. Okay. This was in the I'm going to say probably in 2000. There was I was in another company. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I said you get way back.
24 years ago.
Yeah, 24 years ago. I've been in the industry that long. I mean,
we know you got some tenure, but you went to a story from 24 years ago. Roger, you ain't got nothing recent? I'm just messing.
No, this is going to hit home. Trust me, this is the one that really helped me understand how powerful this industry of network marketing is, and if you take it serious and treat this industry like a business, and this industry of network marketing, it's more than just going out and getting people. No, this is a culture change for a lot of people. This is an opportunity to learn a skill set. There's so many different things to learn, but let me give my story. So I was at a Super Saturday. I believe it was in Greenbelt, Maryland. I know it was here in Maryland 24 years ago. And there was a gentleman who got involved in the business. He was married, and this guy here kind of blew past everybody. And he was introduced to the business when he was being evicted from his house. I will never forget this. And someone gave him a business card or a tape or something, and he listened to the tape. The guy didn't have the money to get started. So the gentleman gave him the money to get started because he was being evicted. He and his wife stuff was out on the street, bro. I mean, furniture, stuff was out on the street. And he got involved, and he took that business, right, and went from 0 to 6 figures a year, right, in less than 24 months. And so when I saw that, because I had already been in the business for some time, and I was doing okay, but again, he went from 0 to that, and that let me know that no matter what circumstance that you're in, no matter what your background is, no matter what you're going through, this industry can change your life. And right now, the timing for this business is right now. So I just wanted to share that story. So if he can do it,
that story you shared, right? Was that a story that you heard that guy say at the event, and he went on stage and told this story like that?
The guy that gave him the information, they were both there at the event, man. It was powerful, man. It wasn't a dry eye in the place.
That's what's up. So we're gonna go over to Two Jackets to see if he can give us a story within this century. You went back. My man went way back like that. You ain't even. I appreciate it though. But what you got, Two Jackets? What story from one of these major events?
Man, listen, I got quite a few of them. Honestly, you just shared the video of Natalie Nicole Graham. I remember when she got started. I remember, we used to do the conventions twice a year. And I remember her and Kenny, and they're all white in Baltimore on a stage. And Kenny was sharing his story about how he wasn't supposed to be here, right? Crying. And now I watched her progression year over year, that hunger, the desire to do better. And watching her go through the 1-star, the 3-star, the 3 to 4, from 4 to 5, 5 to 6, being the first female millionaire. Like sometimes people don't see that. They see her because they come in, she's already 6-star, already a millionaire. But nobody followed the journey of her success story, struggling, 2 marriages, eviction notices, right? Riding dirty, having to. And I used to manage a student enrollment center for higher education. So when she mentioned she wasn't going to school to get a degree, she was going to get a refund check. That's what they do. They go to school, especially once they got that first loan, they register for 2 classes. They come back and get that grant so they can get the refund check so they can survive. That's what they do. So as long as you enrolled in 2 classes, you at a certain number of credit hours, you can go back and get you a refund check if you qualify for whatever grant. But that's her story, and people wouldn't have known that because they wouldn't have been at the events where she shared those things. And so they see her traveling all around the world to Paris and drinking, sipping high tea, and she's at the high-end stores, and she's in the, got the driver service, but that's her now. What about her then when she was going through the struggle, when her kids had to eat fried bologna sandwiches, right? Or some nights they didn't get to eat. You wouldn't have known that because you don't see her in that light. Another quick story would have been probably 2 conventions ago, seeing a elderly woman, Miss Willie Mae. I had an opportunity to speak to her in a director's lounge, but she was over 71 years of age, and she was adamant about becoming a 1-star director. She was still driving herself on interstates to get to the weekly meetings, and you got people who make excuses, who live 10 minutes away, who won't even show up to the meeting. This woman made it her business because she had a desire to become a director. There was another story where the individual was in the hospital, right? Wasn't even supposed to be talking. They in the hospital conducting 3-way calls, closing out their directorship against the doctor's orders. Sometimes you got to do what's necessary. People don't see that because it's like, oh, I'm sick, I don't feel well, I won't do the business today. Oh, I don't feel well, I'm not going to go to the meeting. Oh, you know what? I can't afford it, I'm not going to go to the convention. You never know what that sacrifice to make the investment to show up for your success and attend that convention, what aha moment you might have, what story you may hear that may resonate and say, I thought my situation was bad, but everything I heard today was far worse, and they were able to do it, so why can't I?
That's the takeaway right there.
Well, I like to piggyback on that, man. You said something real good, Daryl. The stories at these events is what really sells. Because people don't care about how much you know, how much you care, right? And how much you're going to be able to help, how it's going to benefit them. But when they come out and they hear the different stories to these events that we should be attending, now they've heard somebody, they might be a forklift driver or a truck driver or a doctor, and they hear someone else in front of the room give their story at the event. And now it's like, okay, if they can do it, I can too. So there are doctors, there are lawyers, there are educators, doctors, teachers, right? There are carpet, business owners. There are radio managers, right? Of all the different walks of life, and then they get to come out and hear those different walks of life and say, you know what, maybe this is for me. But if you're not attending those events, right? Guess what? Especially if you already have a team already, that's just one person. They're going to do what you do. You don't go to the events, they're not going to. You miss one event, they ain't going to none of them. Well, you didn't go to that event. So, you want to make sure that you can attend the events that you're qualified to go to, right? And if you get there, put in your calendar the next event you're going to attend, that event that's in your local market near you. Planes, trains, automobiles, get to those events.
Hey, Raj.
Yes, sir.
You standing up?
Say it again?
You standing up or sitting down?
I'm sitting down, sir.
You sitting down?
Yeah.
All right, so we got to help you out with your camera angle. I'm gonna need you to put the camera on some books or hold it up a little higher, because while you was talking and you sitting down, and I'm gonna make you laugh. The further you lean back, the smaller your head got, right? But because of the angle of your camera, the smaller your head got, the wider your shirt at the bottom got. So every time you lean back, you look like that dude in Beetlejuice when he sprinkled the dust on top of his head and his head shrunk and he was sitting there. So every time you went back, that's why I was laughing earlier. My bad. I couldn't help it. I got to tell him, fix the camera. I know it's the camera. Yeah, see, you doing it again. You look like the Beetlejuice dude. Yeah. You need a little bit closer. Oh my goodness. See, you guys, you don't get to see stuff like this if you don't attend stuff, right? That's at the end of the day. Look, Daryl, I was at an event. This was back before Mr. Bradley or somebody in corporate started making people write their speeches and stuff and little cue cards and stuff. And so people came on the stage and they just spoke from the heart. They just spoke freely. But even if you don't get to see them on stage speaking freely, because you're at the event where they are, you can still have a conversation and hear them freely speak. We was at an event. I heard a lady say, that en route to directorship, she had to go through the most terrible divorce like in the world. I'm like, good God, you still en route through directorship. There was a lady who said, en route to directorship, her only child died en route to directorship. And she on stage because obviously they didn't let this stuff hold them back. There was another lady, I don't know if you remember this one, Daryl. The lady said, I was going to do everything in my power to make it to this event. Some type of natural disaster or storm came past and completely destroyed like her entire house, flooded everything. The lady just wanted two things. She just wanted to be able to make it to the event, and she wanted her daggone director's jacket that was floating probably down the street. And like you said earlier, you got people who won't make it to an event down the street. This lady just lost her entire everything and still made it to that convention some kind of way. I'm like, good gracious. No excuses. You hit where Roger go? You hear some good stuff. You hear some good stuff. I promise you at these events. We're gonna keep telling you to make it to as many of them as you possibly can. Obviously, we're not saying put your household on the back burner. We're not saying make no major life-changing decisions just to make that. Well, you said don't pay your rent and come to the convention. Now I ain't got no place to stay. No, we ain't say that. But we saying do everything you can to make it to these events. You back, sir?
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you now.
I don't know what happened last time. Y'all weird. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, we telling you gotta get that stuff together. I don't know what you got going on over there.
Hey man, this is my first one I'm downtown Bowie, Maryland, my brother.
We're not gonna blame the neighborhood.
You gonna blame the neighborhood? Yeah, I live in Bowie too, man. What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm just getting acclimated. You know, it's beautiful out here. It's got,
it was the technology. We're not gonna blame the neighborhood. It was the technology. Your laptop was trash. You probably had to reboot it so it could, the drivers could do something and update.
Absolutely. So look, let's transition to that other topic, Mr. Lillard. You remember what it was? Drum roll. You remember what it was?
Yes, momentum.
Momentum. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about this topic before. And during the event season and this time of year, especially when people are getting ready to get those tax returns, if they haven't already got it, they're going to need to spend it on something. Get them out the house, send them on a vacation. Or they need to become your business partners. Mr. Lillard, we were talking about how to create momentum in your business. But more importantly, once you get it, how to keep it. Because you can lose it. You can get it, and you be thinking, whoo, we got it going. And then you forget that there is something that you got to do to maintain the momentum. You get comfortable, and the wind's blowing because you're moving. And then before you turn around, and, man, the people I had that was helping me get the thing down the road is gone. Where'd they go? So, Mr. Lillard, what you got to say about momentum? How to create the momentum. That's the first part. How do we create this momentum in our business right now, especially while it's hot outside, literally?
Well, definitely. Well, first and foremost, you got to make a decision to stay plugged in. You got to make a decision, right? So I find it interesting that, all this information available to everyone in Platinum Network right now, there's no reason why you should know what's happening. Earlier, Daryl just went over the announcements. He let everyone know what's happening with the company. And so to start momentum, you got to make a decision to be consistent with what you're doing, right? And being disciplined in what you're doing. Like you can't take if you're going to have your team get plugged into Sunday night Zooms and you miss a Sunday night Zoom, or at least don't go back and watch, because we understand 8:00 Sunday night, you might have family things to do, right? But still go back and watch it. Then you're going to lose momentum because, again, you miss one day, your team going to miss 10. So you have to decide within yourself not to miss anything that you're qualified to be a part of, right? And more importantly, right, have something written down, schedule written, and stick to your schedule. If your calendar is empty right now, so will your pockets be for your business. How are you going to start any kind of momentum and you don't have anything written down, no game plan? You're not staying in contact with your team. So these are the things that we do. What's the Word Wednesday is a way to reach out to folks to get them plugged in, to get them moving. Because I'm going to tell you right now, momentum is here. And this is what I know about this industry of network marketing. Anytime a company, right, I don't care what year it started, hits 100,000 people, that's when it's called critical mass can be achieved. And what's happening is this critical mass, are you going to be a part of it or are you going to watch it grow? Because again, if you're not going to plug in, you're just going to sit back and watch. Some of us are growing and some of us are watching. It's totally up to the individual, right, to stay plugged in and create the momentum. And I'll let Daryl touch on how to maintain it because he's that maintain guy.
He might have some tips on how to create momentum.
Oh, I know he does.
So we talking about them both, how to create it, but obviously how to maintain it after you didn't create it.
But the thing is this: when you think about it, look at Mr. Bradley's excitement, and I think him being the founder of the company, the individual who is leading the charge. If you are as fired up as he is about momentum, then you already are in position. Because the thing is when he get excited, and you don't see it often, but when you see him excited and he got that little devilish grin on his face, you know it's go time. And some people, because they haven't been around him enough, they haven't been to the conventions, they haven't gotten to these events, they don't really understand what that looks like. They don't even understand what the work looks like, right? He created a foolproof plan that would allow you to go from bronze, silver to gold to 20, 40 to director and earn a six-figure salary from home, right? Think about that across several countries, right? Over 100 individuals. Think about how lives are changing and everybody wants what somebody else has gotten. The problem is, and if you listen to I think it's another Director Spotlight coming up one of these Saturdays. If you join that Director Spotlight and you hear that people say, I've been in this business for 2 years and I've been able to bring home a six-figure income in 2 years, right? In my mind, that's momentum because I'm like, ain't no way. Some of us been here 7 years and we ain't got close enough to the six figures, but they came in and they saw it and ran like their head was on fire. What did they do? They kept everybody else encouraged. Now, you can't motivate people who are not motivated. What's the driving force behind people? When you get up in the morning, what motivates you to go to work? It has to be the fact that you have a stable check to pay your bills, because some of y'all don't like your job, you don't like the field, and you half like the people you work with. So it can't be any of those things. It's the fact that you know that you have a secure check to take care of your overhead in your home. In this business, what is your driving force? What is your why? What is your motivation? Because you got an opportunity to build another network with some like-minded individuals. You also got an opportunity to make unlimited income in the largest, most sexiest industry in the world. What's your motivation? Why aren't you there yet? So you have to ask yourself the why. The why doesn't come from anybody else. And no matter how bad Roger or Eric or Daryl may want you to do well, if you don't want to do well and you don't believe it for yourself, it's never going to happen. And keeping that momentum is going to be predicated on your consistent efforts. Because some people will do it long enough to see if it works, and then they stop. Or they get frustrated because somebody tell them no, and then they stop. And then they come back, and they end it again because somebody then shook them, woke them up, got them back on track. They do it for a little while, they visible, then they gone again. They distracted, right? So again, when you're consistent and you have a driving force, a why that's strong enough to keep you in position, like I see it. And I'm not to say that I'm not chasing a six-figure income, because I do well on my job. But if 6 figures happens to just fall into my account, I ain't gonna turn it away. But the thing is, I know that it exists. I know that it's tangible. Mr. Scott and his wife are prime examples. $250,000 from home. What would you do? Because most of us don't even make $5,000 a month. That's a stretch for some people. Let's just be honest. We out here giving our blood, sweat, and tears to an employer to come home after you didn't got taxed, and you just barely can make it. But you got an opportunity where you could get $5,000 from home that could take all your bills off the table, and you could have more if that's what you wanted. Why aren't you there?
Daryl, you said something earlier, man. That why thing. That's one of the things that most people don't have. Their why is not big enough. In order to get your why big enough, you got to stretch your mindset, which is your vision. What's your vision for yourself and your business? Like, when we're young, man, we have all these goals and aspirations and dreams.
That's my car. That's my house.
Right. You know what I mean? We go to a neighborhood. Oh, man, I love that yacht. I'm getting that yacht right there. Whatever it is, right? We're in an opportunity that you can have those things. And the video that Eric played earlier is proof of it. Natalie Graham is the proof, y'all. She went from $400 a month rent, food stamps, getting eviction notices to millionaire in 8 years. What are you doing right now? We're talking about maintaining momentum. What are you doing right now that could help you do what she's done? Not everybody's going to do what she's done, but the platform is in place for it to be done.
I can just tell you, I've been on my job for 11. This is my 11th year at Sirius XM, and I ain't making $1 million. I'm just telling you.
With vision, like, I don't know, most people, if you don't know about fish, like when you go to a carnival, you bring the fish home in the little plastic bag, and you got to put them in the bowl, right? So you put the fish in the bowl, but a lot of times people don't realize the fish dies because you didn't put the fish in the bigger bowl. It stressed itself out. So when you put the fish in the bigger bowl, it begins to grow. So what happens is, if you have a small vision,
goldfish in your
you are stressing yourself out. And this is not me being negative about working for someone else, but we have an opportunity that we can relieve stress. We can relieve financial devastation, that what you heard Natalie Graham. So we're not making this stuff up. It's happening. I'm living proof of it as well. I'm not making what she's making. But again,
we don't want to give them a whole evening of the non-intangible things. Let's bring it back home to some practicalities, right? So if we're talking about creating momentum or maintaining momentum,
right. I got you. Yeah,
so is describe the psychology of how momentum works to a degree, why you should have it, why it's important, but the practicalness of it, right? Like Daryl was talking about it to a degree. Consistency breeds momentum, right? That at the end of the day, consistency breeds the momentum. So now the question becomes, for the people that we're talking to, both live and recorded, consistency at what? Because we just speaking generically. Oh, you see Natalie Graham did it. She had momentum. Momentum doing what? Consistency doing what? There was
that's what I was saying, stretching your vision.
But see, that's the cute thing. That's so let's give some people again some more practical besides stretching your vision. See, we're giving them the Les Brown and the motivational speak. Hey man, you just got to stretch your vision, son. It's gonna be all right. I'm broke, man. I ain't got but $5 in my pocket. You telling me to stretch my vision? Give me something practical that I can go out here tomorrow to do and make this money, right? So and then repeat that consistently so that I can get this momentum. So within the confines of what we do inside of this network marketing space, what are some things that people can do right now consistently to breed the momentum? I would agree that they're going to need the vision, right? But now I would say, taking a step further, Mr. Lillard, they should write the vision down. Right.
I was headed that way, but I was headed that way.
But the consistency piece is, I knew you was going to say that part, but see, the practical consistency part is what we usually don't say after writing it down. how about you read it every day? If you're gonna write it down, then be consistent at reading this every day. But that right there by itself isn't the intangible. Like the intangible thing is the consistency at the play, Mr.
What's the activity that is?
I got it. You know, I got it. So here we go.
Like,
here we go.
Like specifically, like what's the activity that I need to be more consistent in, and that may vary from person to person. Like you know what you are or are not doing in your business every single day when you develop your DMOs. Those are things that you have to develop because mine don't look like Eric's and Eric's don't look like Roger's.
But talk to the new person, to Jack.
I got it.
To the new person that don't know. They don't know none of what you just said. Because I was just talking to a person the other day, and I've noticed myself that I was talking to them as if they knew. I expected they had a certain level of, and I was like, you know what? Let me pump my brakes, and I got to give them the practical. Do this, and then you know what? We're gonna talk next week. Do this and do this. That's it. And you do those two things every day. We'll talk next week. So give and if we can add to that, and then we start creating some momentum. So I'm saying so that we give some people some practical.
Oh, I got something real simple, something real practical, right? And there's a good book that we recommend brand new people to read. It's called GoPro. So I'm going real practical, right? And so Eric Worre if you're brand new and you haven't heard of this book, GoPro, get the book ASAP, right? Make sure your team has it, right? He says in this book that we all should meet 2 new people a day. Practical, right? Whether you're booking travel, whether you're building a network, or both. We should be meeting 2 new people a day because whether they partner with you, right? Whether they partner with you or not, they can still end up being your customer. So you can still book their travel, and at some point in time, as you continue to book
this spammer here, can you hear him? Yeah, we're gonna have to get the momentum going and some consistency in that Wi-Fi connection over there, brother. Yeah, buddy. Nah, we can't hear you, sir. Nah, I mean, we can read your lips a little bit.
Nah, see, that's what you ain't gonna do. Yeah. we ain't got the energy to be reading lips. Yeah, his whole microphone decided it was no longer going to be consistently providing a service. His microphone has lost momentum on tonight, guys. Listen,
but he started off giving the good practical of a certain amount of people that you should be meeting intentionally on day. Now that's every day. That is something that is really, really practical that anybody that's trying to get their business going, I don't care what side of the business you're doing. Because if you're just selling travel, you need to be meeting some people. And then
absolutely.
I hear people saying, well, I'm not a people person. You ain't a dog person either. You need to be able to meet some people or do enough to meet some people that are people persons.
And here's what's odd about that statement, though, because if they were in the market to be dating, they would be looking for the perfect person, which means you got to talk to some people, right? You got to go through the numbers. You got to even get through the no's. There's some people who get rejected. This is the reason why I find this, where people have difficulty doing this business, there's so many different scenarios, right? They are afraid to get the no's. Well, how many jobs did you apply for before the one person told you that you got the job? Not every job that you apply for, even if you're qualified, it happened to me. I was told I was overqualified for a position, therefore they would not hire me. So what I think what I'm saying here is people talk themselves out of that. But going back to the practicality, and Roger was going through the GoPro, like he gives you 7 steps that will help you become a network marketing professional. There's 7 steps that will help you with understanding formality and what you should be doing. Therefore, you can start to create your daily methods of operation based on those key things that are shared in that book, i.e. like creating that list. And then things that we do where we start giving you, okay, now that you've gotten this list of names of individuals and you haven't judged them. Now let's go grade them. Now that you've graded them, let's sort them by highest ranking to lowest ranking. And now you use this list to escort them right on over by inviting them to the PBR that's happening in about 14 minutes, right? Now you can manage that list. How many from this list did you invite onto the PBR to see the exposure, right? Now you're managing that spreadsheet and you're tracking what did they see, when they saw it, when did you follow up, was a 3-way call done, right? You now, these are the practical things that you can do that's going to help you grow your business. But we want so often to just go throw a Facebook post up and hope that we highlight and everyone and people see it, and that's going to be the end all be all, or those people are going to be ushered into our business because we simply write a post. Yeah, the post is cute, but where's the relationship building aspect of that? Where's the communication? Because now social media, see again, Roger from the days of old, where they didn't have functioning social media platforms like this, where you couldn't send a message to somebody and invite them. They had to have an actual conversation. You heard him say earlier, the guy listened to a cassette tape, right? The presentation wasn't even in a video format. He had to pop in a cassette tape to listen to it. I think the problem is we get comfortable with the easy stuff and we wish that it all just works. So we negate doing the actual leg work, that elbow grease that sometimes you got to get in. Even with your clients on the travel side, there's things that you have to do. There's a consultation process, right? You got to understand what it is they want. And then you have to make an assessment if that is reasonable. Does that exist in our world of travel? Just because your client dreams of it doesn't mean that it exists. So now you got to turn on your professional cap and you got to say, I'm going to interject here and add my professional expertise. This doesn't exist here. How many times have I gotten asked for information on all-inclusive resorts in Puerto Rico or Hawaii? Because people don't know, but they lean on us. So again, you being in position to have that level of education, but you got to have those conversations to help educate your client back so that they know going forward. And then that builds the trust and the rapport that you need to now have a continued client because they trust your expertise. It's the same thing when you're prospecting a new business partner. If your posture isn't strong enough and they don't feel that you know what you know, when you talk your talk, they're not going to be partnering with you because they're not confident in your ability to help them succeed. That's another reason why people fail, because you're just trying to get people in and not trying to get them through. We're trying to get people all the way through the ranks to directorship, and you don't have enough ability to get them there. You get them in and you drop them off because you refuse to study the industry. You refuse to go to the major events that we talked about earlier. You refuse to read the books. You refuse to join the free trainings that we offer you to give you that information. So again, like I said, it's those things. Those are the tangibles that people could work through, stemming from Roger's comment about GoPro as even just the basic foundation. And if this, Eric, you mentioned a new person. Your first year in network marketing explains to you what you're going to experience if this is your first run at the mill, right? As a first-time network marketer, overcome an objection. People get butthurt over being told no or getting ghosted, right? You getting your feelings. And again, it's okay because that's a human reaction. But in business, that reaction doesn't have a place. And so you got to learn how to control and minimize that and figure out, guess what? When you ghosted me, that was a blessing because now I ain't got to waste my time on you. I can go to the next person. And if you're talking to enough people, I think Roger used to say this all the time, when you talk to enough people, you wouldn't even realize the no's because you're talking to so many people. You're just trying to get to people who are going to tell you yes.
Absolutely. Listen, what I'm hearing you say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hearing Mr. Two Jackets, 3-star himself, master ambassador, guru, travel booking genius. I'm hearing him say, according to consistency being that what breeds momentum, that it is important that you guys are consistent in going pro. You're consistent in becoming a professional every day. So if you're new, that means you should be consistent in studying and executing the 7 skill sets within that book, Go Pro, in order to create the momentum for your business. Mr. Jenkins is saying you need to be a professional. Go pro daily. I love that. You need to be a daggone professional about yours. And if you're doing that, you're doing it daily. And then you're teaching others to do the same thing. He even told you guys how you maintain momentum. Because see, after you've done those things and you got you a group of people, he talked to you about establishing trust and building a rapport. That's how you maintain the momentum. You got a group of people that came to you looking for guidance. They want to go somewhere, and you got to be the one to take them, or at least pointed them in the right direction along the way, because you're following your GPS or roadmap. But I tell you guys all the time, I stole this from somebody, but it's mine now. Listen, it's hard to follow a parked car. How you gonna create momentum for yourself or anybody else that says they want to follow you, but your car's in park? Anybody ever been broke down and needed a push? And you asked 5 or 6 or 7 fellas to push you? How we gonna push you if you got it in park? Come on, you ain't even ready to go nowhere. Some of y'all got your businesses on park because you haven't opened up the owner's manual on how to do this thing. Two Jacker said, go pro. I love it. Mr. Lillis, are you back? Can you give some closing remarks? You able to do that? Can we hear you?
Can y'all hear me?
Look at that. Look at that. See? So now go ahead and get the people who are watching live and the people who are going to watch this recorded. Give us your closing remarks. You might want to be quick because I don't know what you got going on over there.
So listen, everybody. Something that I learned a long time ago. If you want to maintain momentum in your business, and we talked about, the book Go Pro, but this is one of the things that I highly recommend that you must do on a daily basis is you have to discipline your disappointment, because you're going to get disappointed about some things. And if you're not disciplining your disappointment, guess what? Neither will your team. When your team see you go through a struggle, you got to discipline that disappointment, because it's not about you. It's about the network. Eric, Daryl, Mr. Scott, we don't always agree on everything, and we might be disappointed about it, but we can't focus on that. So we got to discipline the disappointment, because it ain't about any one person. It's about us as a unit. And in Platinum, the U stands for unity. So I'm just going to say this. Whenever you feel disappointed about something, you can't wear on your sleeve. Don't take it personal. It's about business. So be able to discipline your disappointment daily. That's my final words.
I love it. I love it. Two Jacks, go ahead, drop us with something.
Create some consistent efforts to help you move your genealogy. If it is to be, it's up to me. Don't wait for nobody else to jump in your inbox or for your coach to jump down your throat. You know what the presentation, what the goal is. If you haven't gotten your first business partner, get your first two and unlock your matrix, and then go bronze, and then go silver, and then go gold, and focus on the rest of your strategy from that point. Focus on growth goals. How much is your organization going to grow? If you're already a goal builder or DIT, focus on your growth goals. What are you going to grow by? What is your monthly goal to get you to your next ranking point, right? And then how do you create that inside of your organization? So I'm going to leave them with that to create some momentum.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to beat a dead horse with our closing remarks. If you really want to be successful in business, I don't care what it is, you need to have experienced momentum at some point. It's the momentum that will help you scale your business from one level to the next level. Momentum, however it comes from the exposure that was provided to create it, but momentum is what will take you from being a mom and pop shop on a corner that nobody heard about, and then all of a sudden, some momentum came, and now you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 19, 20 shops. Same principle applies as it pertains to your business. Think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back here, Lord willing, on third Wednesday, because we're every first and third Wednesdays here to bring you as much inspiration, motivation, positivity as we can. Right now, you should be preparing for the Wednesday night presentation, travel party, PBR, whatever you're calling it this week. It is an exposure moment, basically, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And we will be seeing you back. I ain't got nothing else for you. I'm looking for the outro.
And I'll have my stuff together by that time too, over here in the downtown Bowie, Maryland.
Oh, you trying to call it downtown Bowie? It's not even. You in the middle of Bowie. That's just regular.
No, I'm right off Central Avenue, so I'm downtown Bowie.
No, that's not downtown Bowie, man. Downtown Bowie looks crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, look. Each and every first and third Wednesdays, we'll be right back here. We appreciate you for watching. Tell a friend. Come back with your business partners next time.
Get with it, girl. Here you go. Rock that thing, bro. Get with it, baby. Woo.